What a world where we are so fascinated with power, positions, prestige. And these things in and of themselves aren't wrong. But throughout history, people have come and gone, regimes have come and gone. Napoleon and Genghis Khan and Hitler and so many people have come and gone that was obsessed with power. And power sadly tends to replace purity. Maybe some of you are aware of the phrase, power can corrupt, and absolute power can corrupts absolutely. It doesn't have to, but it tends to, because some part of us within us has a desire to want to control, do whatever it takes to have control, and do whatever it takes to get more wealth, get more influence. And often many people cut corners and lie and slander and deceive to try to keep that control. Many of you people know, many of y'all know about this happening in government and in jobs and everywhere. There's a jostling for power. And often people do things to get those positions, and to stay in those positions, they will continue to compromise purity. One of the greatest teacher to ever exist on this planet had to tell his own disciples, the people he was teaching, that I came to teach you something, to teach you how to live right now on this earth. Yet his disciples are more focused on, wow, are you going to deliver us from Roman oppression? And Jesus was telling his disciples, well, I didn't come here for that. I came to deal with a deeper oppression, an inner oppression. That's my main thing that I came to do right now. But they were so focused on getting up free from, I'm being impressed by this, I'm being impressed by that. But Christ had a deeper mission, a bigger mission for them to hone in on and deal with. It reminds me of, similarly today, people would say, oh, the white man's holding me down, and this is whatever, the president is a problem, and and there are times when there are legitimate people who are keeping you held back, but today, for the most part, it's really ultimately because of our choices why we are held back. Our lack of motivation, our lack of discipline, our lack of putting in the work. Even Christ had to rebuke the quote-unquote spiritual religious leaders at that time, because they were so high-minded and oh, look at us, we're the spiritual leaders of this time. People are looking at us for advice, for guidance. Look at us. But even their hearts were not pure. Their hearts were not right. I want to share a few verses from Luke 10, verse 30 to 34. And Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way. And when he saw him, he passed by the other side. That priest saw him, looked, continued moving. Does it sound similar today? Where we see people wounded in various ways, and we do nothing. We just shrug our shoulders and keep on moving. And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place and looked upon him, passed by on the other side. It reminds you of like a whole lot of people today where like you drive and you see someone that's homeless, you just shrug your shoulders and You come to your own conclusions and keep on moving. You don't care, keep on moving. You see people that's suffering in different ways and need help, maybe financially, maybe, you know, someone just lost a loved one, needs someone to talk to. We just shrug our shoulders, not my problem, whatever. Until it comes to you. Oh, now you want someone else to help to encourage you and bring you some solace, and you know. So often we have that lack of empathy. Like, wow, this person's going through that. Like, you don't think you would ever go through that? We all need somebody in a time of need. So the Levite and the priest, they both just continued walking by. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was and saw him and had compassion on him. Compassion. So, for whatever reason, that priest and the Levite, in their lofty position and in their status, for whatever reason they came to, didn't actually go and help the person, minister to the person. They had their conclusions in their mind and continued moving. But the Samaritan was just like, wow, this person is in need. I'm not gonna think about the difference in nationality or spiritual background or I don't know, maybe God's punching that person, he deserves that. You know, they just see this person is in need. I gotta help. I see the wound and I gotta help. He bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn and took care of him. So he saw there was a problem. The person is wounded. I gotta help. There's people who are wounded today in marriages, in their minds, in their money, in their purpose. People have been wounded in various ways. But this world, we're so fascinated, overly fascinated with, you know, being the top, economically wise, more money, more wealth, more business, more cars, more, and these things in of themselves are not wrong, but it tends to eclipse the need for purity. And that's what Christ was trying to get his disciples to understand in the spiritual leaders at the time, and people in general, that we need purity. We need purity. Reminds me of, there was a guy that just got sentenced to, was about to get sentenced because he pleaded guilty to killing, murdering his mother and her daughter. While they were walking on the street, this guy was way past the limit with his blood alcohol level was way over the limit, double, and he was speeding 70 miles an hour past the red light. Where is the love? Where is the need for purity? Inside. Like you had to, obviously, that guy must have been empty and depressed, and whatever his motivation to fill his mind, his body up with all this liquor, caused him to disobey the law and be reckless, and two people died. And every year, people are driving drunk and murdering people, just reckless. You're operating a heavy vehicle, that can cause serious damage to someone's body, and you're gonna intoxicate yourself and go behind the wheels of a car while you're depressed. So your girl broke up with you, going through financial problems. So you're gonna go and that's what you're gonna do, and put someone else's life in jeopardy because your life is in shambles. Where's the purity of heart? When you got purity of heart, you're gonna deal with your problem in a mature, wise way, and not bring damage and pain to other people's life. But often so focused on ourself, our problems, our need to do this, our desire to go up the ladder, our issues that we at the same time are bringing pain to other people while we go through pain, while we're trying to have higher positions. So today I pray that you will have purity. You will truly love people, treat them with kindness, whether or not you agree with them. See that they will get edified in various ways and they will be healed. You'll be added solution to the problem. All right. God bless you. I love you. Keep God first, please.